Hey y'all, IrixGuy here, and a reminder, this is the sound of the super chat. So if a super chat comes through and you can choose to super chat, there's a super chat link within the comment section. If you choose to do that, this thing will sound off. Now hopefully we won't have any congestion, but I do have a lot of uploading, and I've got some, not just network congestion, but actual congestion in my head, and I hope I'm not getting that virus that's going around. But you never know. You can try all you can. And my thing, and again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not any sort of authoritative figure, but with that being said, I do have a drink before I go to bed that maybe it'll help, and who knows, maybe it won't. But let's see. We've got Jake here. Jake says, my sisters McKenna and Maya and girlfriend Katie are here. Jake says, buffering a bit, but that's okay. Yeah, man, sorry about this buffering. I've got, let me see if I can calm some of this down here. Let me see what I can do. I've got several uploads going because I've got some crucial videos that I've got to get out. A lot of my viewers said, hey, man, we've got to have a video on this, video on that. So let me see if I can chill a little bit of this bandwidth disruption here. Let me see what I can do. Hold on. Thanks for letting me know that, by the way. Let's see. We've got uploading items. I'm going to cancel that upload. Let me see if that'll let me. Speaking of that, it would be great if YouTube would add a pause upload option. I think that would be really nice. Let's see. What do we have here? Yeah, I've just got a bunch of stuff going up right now, man. And see, I don't, there's stuff I don't want to cancel. Can you still hear me? Can you still see me? Is it bumming out? It says, Jake says, come one, all join the one and only IrixGuy. Appreciate it, man. Can you hear me now? Can you see me? Can you hear and see me? 8:45 p.m. New York. Yeah, I hope this isn't too congested. I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff going on concurrently. Yeah, let's see. What do we have? Let me see if this will clear the congestion a little bit. Let's see what this does. Hold on. Okay, so now we're bumping down 99%, 97. Okay, I think I just fixed it. I had to get with my network engineering team here in IrixGuy's Adventure Channel and had to get that sorted out. Jake says, don't forget to super chat if you want to hear the sound of that authentic Australian didgeridoo. That's right, man. This right here is not free, but typically I would give a free sound of the super chat for Jake, but tonight, because I want all of y'all to super chat, there's no freebie. So this thing will sound, and G01 super chatted last night, and this went off. So if you choose to super chat, and you can do that within the comment section, this didgeridoo will make it sound. So yeah, Jake, very important reminder there, man. I mean, life of an independent YouTuber is not, it's not an easy venture. So I gotta get in those super chats in any way that I can. So we've got a lot of cool stuff going on. One of the biggest things recently has been, DJI just released the new Osmo Mobile. If you use a smartphone, you want to use an Osmo. People have their things they want to do. It's not my cup of tea, but it is kind of cool. At least they've got a magnetic type, quick disconnect now, so that's more user friendly for the user that's using it, with a smartphone that'll also be used as a traditional, cell phone and that sort of stuff. G01, this is just a shout out to you for your super chat again last night, man. I always remember the super chats, man. And yeah, man, that's some hardcore stuff, man. You know, super chatting. You got to do that. If you do the super chat, not only do you get the crowd to cheer, but you also get to hear the sound of the super chat. When we surpass $100 US per live show, I'll break out something special. I'll break out a drum, but I won't break the drum out and get through $100 US in a single live show. But any super chat, this will make the sound of the super chat. So don't forget that. The sound of the super chat. Jake says, yep, you're good, Mr. Irix guy. I'd let you know. Yeah, very good. You know, I got this congestion. I got all this stuff going on. You know, we've got a pandemic, and there's no cure. No cure. I mean, you know, really the only cure that I found is turning off fake news. And at least by turning off the fake news, I'm not hit in the face throughout the day with all this stuff. Without a doubt, I know that the virus exists. You know, I'm not disputing the existence of the virus, but what I am disputing is just the lunacy of mainstream media. Mainstream media is stupid. I'm not personally insulting anyone because, you know, you may be a good person, but when you go to work for media outlet XYZ, ABC, whatever, you know, if your career choice is to go to work for that outlet, you're becoming part of the problem because you may be a good person. You know, you may have a rational view of the world surrounding you, but dollars speak more loudly than words and more loudly than opinions in most cases. A lot of people can be bought. So the reality is that you may be a good person. You may know what's right. You may know what's wrong from a moral or ethical perspective. But when and if you become part of this mainstream media outlet, at that point in time, your views could be distorted. You know, there could be a lot of money thrown your way, which for you could seem like a lot of money. For the media outlet, oh, that's nothing. You know, we're going to get a young, attractive, persuasive face. You know, we're going to give them a small chunk of our pot, but to them, it'll be a life-changing, you know, financial amount. And often that's what happens because, you know, you get these, and I don't want to use the term influencer in a negative way, but I will for this example. So, you know, you get someone that's, let's just say fresh out of college, whatever, and, you know, their goal is to utilize their college degree to make, you know, whatever money or whatever. So they go to work for media network XYZ. I'm not going to insert, you know, any sort of real world media network here because I don't want to give any media network a bad name. I think it's fair to assume that every media network does have a bad name. And that's not over, and I think they all do. But, you know, someone out of college, you know, and they go to work for this mainstream media outlet XYZ, again, fictitious. But, you know, then they said, oh, well, we really like what you've done. You know, here's your bonus or, you know, here's your bump in salary or whatever. So, you know, they get those extra dollars in their pocket. And, you know, instead of going out and you know, maybe going out on the weekend and getting some natural light or, you know, maybe really doing it fancy and get some Coors Light, you know, instead of getting the Canadian Club whiskey, maybe they step up to the Crown Royal. You know, now they're in a totally different ball game. You know, they're not going out to the bar. They're not going out and getting, you know, kind of bottom or mid-tier liquor. They're going out in a yacht and they're getting served the best stuff. You know, they're being schmoozed by that media network. They're getting more dollars in their pocket. They're getting what they feel are better benefits. And the reality is that what they're doing is becoming a puppet for that mainstream media outlet. So, you know, with that being the case, you're seeing what we're seeing now, and this is not just based, you know, I'm not just centering this around the United States, but what we're seeing now as a society is the product of media's manipulation. You know, the mainstream media are responsible for a lot of the world's problems. I'm not saying they're the sole thorn in the side that's creating this pain, but the mainstream media are one of the biggest, supporters of, what's the word for it? Chaos. I mean, that's what we've got. I mean, we've got, chaos and fear. Fear sells. Chaos sells. Anything that creates conflict sells. So, what's been created now, and, and granted, my, let's see, what do we have here from Jake? We've got, that's fine. Don't have to do it for me. I'm not special. I can't super chat anyways because I'm disabled. I've disabled a feature on my chat. That's cool, man. You don't need to super chat. You're here for all the shows to avoid mischief or identity theft. Jake says, I've been at my trailer for the last time of the summer doing ship spotting on the St. Lawrence River. Got 4 nice photos of ships on the seaway. Dude, you'll have to share those ship photos, put them in a video, share your link to your YouTube video, and we'll share it on a live show. But, the mainstream media, here's the funny thing. I mean, you're talking about being bought. People can be bought. And the thing is, what's so funny about it is that people can be bought, and they don't even realize they're being bought. They look at it as, oh, I'm getting a promotion. Whoa, that's a lot of money. And to that individual contributor of that media outlet, a significant bond, a few $1,000s a month. Whoa, dude, that's, in their mind, that's a lot of money. To the media network, that's next to nothing. But, what they realize they're doing is that they're leveraging a tool. That tool being someone, fresh out of college. Maybe they didn't even graduate from college, but they've got a face for media. They've got a personality for media, face on camera presence, this, that, and the other. And they can basically, tell that employee whatever to convey, and that employee will convey it in a convincing way. So, in essence, they're leveraging, their company's, their media outlets' checkbook to pay one employee a significant amount because they know that their face on video presence is, well perceived by the viewers. So, it's a really sick and twisted world that we live in, when you dissect, how manipulative the media are. I mean, they're and I'm not talking about any particular media network, but mainstream media is twisted. And I'm not going to side on one side or the other, I'll tell you what's going on. I mean, the New World Order, the NWO, the New World Order, whether you're looking at, say, the United States, for example, you're looking at Republican versus Democrat. That's fine and dandy. If you want to put, in your mind, if the future administration is either Republican or Democrat, that's fine, but there's a lot more to it. There's the NWO, the Illuminati. There's the under the surface shadow government that's controlling everything. And it doesn't matter on the surface what you and or I see, Republican, Democrat, far left, far right. That doesn't matter. The shadow government, the Illuminati, is what's playing the, controlling the game right now. So, I mean, it's messed up. Mike says, hey, Irix, how are you? Dude, Mike, welcome back. I'm feeling good. I've got, got a little bit of a sore throat, and, I'm trying to, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a politician, but I'm trying to drink this to hopefully coat my throat. And if I did get a hold of something, because I did have to go out, I went out and got a sandwich earlier today. And ever since then, man, and no, I don't go in anywhere. I go to a drive-through, I pay ahead. I try to use the touchless options. I've got hand sanitizer in my center console. This virus is real. Unfortunately, it's real, but yeah, I've just had this scratchiness and I've had this nasal congestion and I haven't, I just touched my face, but I've showered and I've scrubbed down with hand sanitizer, this, that, and the other. I mean, it's just, these are uncertain times and it's, it's one of those things where, we, and again, not just the United States, but we as a world, we're being controlled. We are being, let's see, Jake says BBC Swift was from England from the Netherlands, and CSL Assemblon was from Catherine's, Ontario, Canada. Also got a picture of a seagoing tugboat downbound on the seaway. Cool, man. Jake's into ship spotting. And Jake is also responsible for sharing the Terry Peppers foghorn video. So if you haven't checked it out, check out the Terry Peppers foghorn video. It's a life changer, man. But yeah, I mean, it's just, these are really weird times, and something I've got, and I had it uploading earlier, and I'm going to start uploading it again here shortly. Something I had uploading was a video of I've got some indoor exercise equipment. So I'm trying to get really let's see, what's the word? Trying to get less fat, man. So I've got a couple of pieces of exercise equipment that are super cool. I did my due diligence. I was trying to find something that wasn't too expensive, but wasn't so cheap that it would fall apart and or be a potential safety issue. So I've got this bench, and it'll do flat, it'll do incline, it'll do decline, and I'm able to do sit-ups on it as well, which was an unexpected value add to that bench, because I didn't expect to have the ability to to do sit-ups on it. So that's been a huge positive. Let's see what we got here. It's funny, man. These uploads, I canceled some uploads earlier because I had a little bit of network congestion on my live stream. And, you cancel these things, and it's just, YouTube used to resume. And I'm almost thinking that YouTube may have done away with the video upload resume feature, but it's a big deal. It's just kind of frustrating. But there's a lot of cool tech coming out. Sony actually, and it's a really twisted. Mike says, I had a scratchy throat last weekend. Ended up getting a head cold. Was gone in 2 days. Yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, with this virus, given what has been communicated, it would seem that it's just a fake virus. But I would love for this virus to be fake. The reality is that, even though it seems like it should be fake because of all the political banner, this, that, and the other, the reality is that it actually exists. The interesting part about it is what, and if you dissect the people that are actually passing away from it, they have pre-existing conditions. So I'm not saying that I'm not saying that the virus is something that people should write off as, as insignificant and just go out and not wear a mask. I'm not saying that by any means, but, my fear with it, and again, this fear not being created by the media, but, this fear just being created by, anyone that likes to analyze a situation. The bottom line is that, this virus has probably not existed for a long time. I mean, it may have existed prior to 2020, but, it's one of those deals where even if it existed, let's say it existed in early 2019, I got really sick in early 2019, and I thought it was the flu, but I'd had the flu before, and it was just a really wicked and super hardcore flu, but that was early 2019. So, maybe that was COVID. Who knows? Maybe it had been here that long, but, the bottom line is that, it exists because I know people that have had it. Yeah, Mike said, I saw you got dumbbells. Those are awesome. Yeah, I was on the waiting list for the Select Tech dumbbells for weeks. And those, the best part about it, and the thing I've enjoyed most about the Select Tech dumbbells is that it's like having an entire rack of dumbbells, and you don't have to take up a lot of space. I'm actually sore right now because I started working out today. I got my bench that I use with the Select Tech dumbbells, and it's I'm going to get the Bowflex bench, but it was on back order. And then I started doing my research, and there were a lot of benches out there that were just, my opinion after reading the reviews and looking at the specs and the photos, is that a lot of them were junk. But I actually found a bench for dumbbells that is super high quality. And I worked out on it today. It took me a while to assemble. It took me an hour. But what I did, I got the, I got it in the mail. No, not in the mailbox, but, the Postal Service. They came by and delivered it. And, just left the box outside, cut it open, and put all the parts out one by one and put them in my house. Took them in my house to assemble it, inventory and assemble. And, it was, I'll admit, it was a very straightforward assembly process. However, because it was created overseas and, there was a little bit of poor translation, they could have done a better job if they had broken it up into steps, because each step had too many pieces, too many steps. Just you looked at it and it's like, and granted, I'm not, a genius. Well, actually, and I'm not saying I'm a genius to be cocky, but according to my IQ, I'm a genius, whatever. Who cares? I don't care whatever people think of me. It doesn't matter. But, so, since I'm supposedly a genius, then, me reading these instructions and saying, hey, this doesn't really it's not super clear. I was able to decipher it. It just took some time. But, for your average Joe or Jane, those instructions were a little bit too, too many pieces in each step. So I filmed a video, step 1 through step 5. So you'll be able to see the assembly of this dumbbell bench that I got step by step. And I mean, it's a good bench. I mean, I was expecting, for the price I paid, I was expecting, this may be okay. This may be mediocre. This may be acceptable. This may be, a little bit less than acceptable. But actually what I got is something that exceeded my expectations. And, and when I say that, I mean, I can do sit-ups on the bench. And my expectation is that I probably wouldn't have been able to have done sit-ups on the bench. And, I mean, that's crazy. Jake says, I'm going to share the other ships I've seen in the past. The Lake Superior in 2007 and the Cellini out of Switzerland. And in 2007, the Gadwall from Hong Kong. In 2006, the Siam Star from Malta, and the Commodore Strites grain elevator in Hamilton. Mike says, I just got mine last year in the bench too, and received them both really quick. So did you get the Bowflex, what's called the bench with the red, it's kind of got a red and black on it? And then also, that begs a question. I've only been using the Select Tech dumbbells for a few weeks now. Of course, when I use them, when I'm doing, flat incline, military press or whatever, I've got the red part of the dumbbells facing me. They're going to fall apart, but if they did, at least maybe that might prevent it from falling on my head. Have you had any issues with your Bowflex Select Tech 552 dumbbells? I haven't, but again, I just got them, and it's funny. I like the gym. I like going to the gym. I like being around. I'm not that big of a people person, but I like being around the people, in the environment where other people are working out, because it motivates you. Because you're, whether you acknowledge it or not, when you're in a gym, and you don't have to be a bodybuilder, you don't have to be super fit. You don't have to have overly ambitious fitness goals. But when you're in a gym, subconsciously everyone is aware of their surroundings. I mean, I don't want to overgeneralize, but everyone's probably aware of their surroundings. And being the case, when you're in a gym, whether you're a competitive person or not, when you're in a gym environment working out alongside other people, you're probably going to push yourself a little bit more because you don't want to seem weak. Most everyone, not to overgeneralize, but most everyone has a personality type, whether they admit it or not. There's people that are very, what's the word for it? Very outgoing. There's people that are very subdued. But for the most part, most everyone, regardless of, how outgoing your personality type may be, most everyone put into a room with others, in a gym, for example, they're probably going to want to work out harder when they're among other people than they would if they were in their home gym by themselves. So, with that being said, I think that, it's super important to, hopefully we get through this pandemic quickly. Because, not having access to a gym right now, I haven't had access to a gym since March of 2020, and I'm on the East Coast of the United States. So, with that being the case, I have been thin. Back in college, I was about 198. I was ripped. I had almost an 8-pack of abs. I had a good thing going. But, now I'm about 220. So I'm not too fat, but I don't have that 6-pack or 8-pack of abs, and it makes me mad. So, with that being the case, it's just, I miss the gym. I miss the unspoken competition. When you're in the gym, you don't want to be weak. And I'd go in there and I'd get mad. I'd work out. I don't talk to people in the gym. I'm not that guy. I'm not going there to socialize. I'm going there to get ripped. I don't care who you are. I don't, care if you're in shape or I'm in shape or whatever. I'm there to get ripped. But inevitably, most everyone in the gym is going to push themselves harder because there's other people around. Mike says, I got my, let's see. Yes, red and black declines and can do sit-ups too. Talking about the Bowflex Bench. Jake says, I've also seen the CSL Cerdon off of Wolf Island, Ontario, Canada. And I have an old photo of the CSL Collier in 2007, the Catherine Spirit from Hamilton, and the Yank Canuck in 06 in Malta from Antigua. Very cool. Mike says, only issue I have is size. When you do flies, you can't get them as close together as you can with dedicated dumbbells. Other than that, they're just awesome. Yeah, you're right, man. When you're trying to, and that's what I've noticed. When I lay flat, my flat bench, my incline, my decline workout, I kind of go like this and I twist. And I guess what you're talking about is fly would be more like that. But just for like my dumbbell presses, see, I'll do, instead of just keeping them like that and going out, I'll kind of gently twist as I go. And you're right, when you push, when you hit, because the Bowflex Select Tech dumbbells are a little bit wider, you don't get that, and I know exactly what you're talking about. You don't get that when you're doing a gym dumbbell, when you get things really tight and close together, you don't get that because they're a little bit wider, so you don't get that compression in your pecs. No, I'm not saying it's a bad workout, but I'm just saying you don't get as much of a compression there, which is kind of disappointing. Other than that, they're all awesome, man. I mean, you're getting an entire rack of dumbbells in the gym in the floor space of 2 dumbbells, which is incredible. Hats off to their R&D department. I mean, Bowflex does a good job. They really do. For home gym equipment, Bowflex does a really good job. '90s whatever says, I did have an issue with my Select Tech 552s with the weight selector dial getting out of sync and picking up incorrect plates. there's a procedure to reset the dial to fix it. 90 whatever, it's good you said that, because actually out of the box, one of my two Select Tech 552 dumbbells, it was actually locked to the plate, or to the, let's just call it the caddy or whatever, whatever it rests on. And there was that, like you said, there's that little there's that little button that you push and it reset it. And after I reset it, everything's been fine. So let's see. Mike says, that's interesting. Have you taken all the plates off to inspect them? And then 90 whatever said, my teen son cracked some plastic on it too. Yeah, if you drop those, man, and I'm ultra cautious when I use my Select Techs. I mean, they're good quality, but when you're in the gym and you've got, rubber coated dumbbells or whatever, you get mad and you try to make sounds and, try to make those sounds in the gym, and you throw the weights down to look like you're awesome or whatever. Don't do that with the Select Techs at home. Because, they're good. They're just not, they're not built to withstand abuse, which is fine. Jake says, I've also seen the Sangha Maya from the Marshall Allens and the Emerald Star Tanker from Halifax in 2007 and the Yank Canuck from Sault Ste. Marie and the Vega Dageness. Jake says, and I've seen the Tug Robinson Bay with a work barge and the BBC Bornholm on her way to Buffalo. Speaking of BBC, Bailey's, what is it? Bailey's Banana. What is BBC? BBC is a really good drink that you get at Soggy Dollar Bar on Yost Van Dyke. It's Bailey's Banana and Cream. BBC. It's just an awesome drink. It's a frozen drink, man. It'll mess you up. I love that drink. You said that ship name, and I thought of that. Oh man, I got all this congestion. I'm all nasally and stuff. But I tell you, man, it's these times, man. We gotta get through this. We just gotta get. We got to get through all this because it's going on too long. It's going on too long, man. But yeah. Oh, and Sony. This is funny. Sony has confirmed. It seems like Sony is going to be releasing a new compact camera interchangeable lens, ILC, interchangeable lens camera, that'll allegedly be named the Sony A7c. But here's what's kind of crappy about it. Apparently they're announcing a new lens for this camera type that'll apparently be a V lens. So, currently with the Sony APS-C and the Sony full frame camera like I can use Sony FE, which is a full frame Sony lens, or I can use Sony E, which is an APS-C lens. I hope they don't release a new lens format. Jake says, I've also seen the Algama Core ship Peter R. Cresswell at Welland Canal and the Hornblower tour boat from Niagara Falls, Canada. Mike says, Jake, where are you seeing these? Are you taking any drone videos? And Carl says, I heard the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald on the radio. Crazy. So yeah, we got Sony camera news, we got ships, you know, and being a captain here, you know, I'm ready to get back on that boat. But yeah, these are just uncertain times, man. These are uncertain times for show. But it's wow, these things are uploading slowly. I've got a few uploads going and they're just like creeping along, man. I'm like, that's funny. My buffering for my live stream cut out. That's interesting. And I've got uploads going, but the buffering issue went away. That's cool. That's cool, man. Very cool. Philippe. Ooh, celebratory sound of the super chat for Philippe. Hold on. Welcome aboard, Philippe. And what am I drinking tonight? I'm drinking a, it is, let's see what I have. Cruisin' Dark, orange juice, just a splash of pina colada mix, a splash of strawberry, and a lot of ice. I mean, just a splash of strawberry. That's why it's still kind of orange. Oh, and pineapple juice. And wristwatch check. As Archibald Chesterfield III would say, I'm wearing the Panerai Luminor PAM 112, the Italian Frogman watch. This was actually, the Italian Frogman wore this in World War II. Well, they wore a radio mirror. And actually, it was back in the, a long time ago. And when they put the dials on these watches, the lume material, the luminescent material, and that's not what's in this. This is I think super luminova, but prior to this, they used a highly radioactive compound, and a lot of the factory workers. This was back during World War II. They would use that, while they were applying, which they didn't know at the time was radioactive, but they would lick their fingers and this, that, and the other. And unfortunately, a lot of them died of radiation poisoning. But that's kind of what put Panerai on the map. And this is the Panerai PAM 112. The first Panerais in, during the World War II. Actually, Rolex made the movements. And I think Rolex even did the case. Maybe I don't know if they necessarily did the case, but they did the crown. And just a really cool, really cool watch. If you're into watch collecting, but I've got it on a rubber strap and swim with it, take it in the shower. Who cares, man? Let's see. And then Jake says, BBC is an English company, but these BBC ships we see on the St. Lawrence Seaway are Canadian or American owned, but BBC Swift was English owned, and it said Southampton on its stern or back of the ship. Philippe says, thank you, and a good drink, I'm sure. It's pretty good, man. It's not as good as I want it to be, but it'll cut the mustard. Jake says, yes, the old Fitzgerald, I visited the wreck. She's been left where she rested when we went down, and now, speaking of shipwrecks, let me get a video here. I'm gonna pull a video out of the archives for y'all. Let's see. Let me pull this up. Let's see. I'm pulling it up. You've piqued my curiosity here.
With everything going on right now.
Whoa, that was loud. Gotta mute my audio. This video, and I filmed this back. God, man, time has flown by. This was back from 2012. So this video, I went to Bermuda and I took a boat off of King's Wharf, the west end of Bermuda. And the video I just linked, that is a shipwreck of the Montana. They had a bunch of drugs and all kinds of other stuff on it. And it's just, it's a short, just a few nautical miles off of Bermuda's west end. But that's a cool video if y'all want to watch that. Carl says, how did you like interviewing Archie Luxury? Archie Luxury, if you don't know who he is, Archibald Chesterfield III, AC3. He's, and this is, I really enjoyed it. And I want to give y'all a quick, just kind of a summary of what's going on in case you haven't heard of AC3, Archibald Chesterfield III. So, I've always been interested in collecting wristwatches, this, that, and the other. I started out, I was a James Bond fan, so, all that I knew at the time was Omega and Rolex. So, I thought that, the two watches were the James Bond watches, the Rolex Submariner and the Omega Seamaster 300M. So I was researching a lot of stuff, and I stumbled upon, click after click. This was, 10 or so years ago on YouTube, and I kept stumbling upon this guy called Archie Luxury, AC3, Archibald Chesterfield III, Paul Pluta. And it was like, dude, what's going on here? So I kept stumbling upon that. But the guy's full. Dude, there's some videos on his channel that are just out there. And I know he does it for reactions and comments, and that creates buzz, which then draws more views to his channel. And, I admire him, from a business perspective. I admire his approach because he is creating conflict, he is creating buzz, and he's amplifying the number of views that his channel receives. But, look away from all of the perceived craziness on his channel within a lot of his videos and look at the actual knowledge that is shared. Warren Buffett, and, if I misquote this, pardon me, but Warren Buffett said, and I may be misquoting this, but it was something along the lines of, taking stock advice from the, driving a Bentley to the subway or driving a Rolls Royce to the subway and taking investment advice from the person riding the subway or whatever. The bottom line is that, you can get good advice, you can get potentially excellent advice from places where one might least expect it. And that's the case with Archibald Chesterfield III, Archie Luxury, because he's, just an outlandish character on YouTube. Throughout the years, it's gotten to be just a little bit more, not just a little bit more, but just, quite extreme and just, way out there. But it creates conversation, it creates conflict. And, that's what he's going after. The bottom line is that the guy knows wristwatches inside and out. And so, being able to interview him was very cool. I've been on his channel a few times. I'm kind of a dry personality type. I'm not the guy that's joining the live shows and getting along with all the craziness. But, as far as advice is concerned, I've never bought what he would call a shiter. Actually I did before I was listening to him. I bought my only regret was and I got a good deal, and actually I got rid of it for a small profit, but it wasn't one of the wristwatches that you'd want to own. It was a Baume and Mercier. Nothing against that company, but it's just not, it doesn't have the heritage, it doesn't have the collectability and this, that, and the other. And fortunately, I was able to get that. I got it at a deep discount. I was able to sell it because I'm a haggler. Anything I buy, I'm going to get a deep discount, or I'm not going to buy it. And but that was a mistake I made pre-Archie Luxury. And had I been watching his videos, I never would have even considered that particular watch brand or that particular reference. So he's a book of knowledge when it comes to collecting wristwatches. And, that's something that, so it's kind of a weird hobby. I've been fascinated with it since, I've been buying watches since I was, single digits. I just thought it was something fascinating, something about the the finite, time is a finite thing. It's not something that is infinite. It's got an end. So, being able to measure time with a device on your wrist is pretty cool. And then when you think about all the R&D, the engineering and everything that went into the development of that timepiece, and to create even better accuracy, for example, J.J. LeCoultre, they do the 1,000 hours master control in-house testing. Rolex, of course, they're not just a chronometer. They're a superlative chronometer, which I think is plus or minus 1 or 2 seconds per day. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal when you think about that, with a mechanical, device that was created by hand. So it's pretty fascinating thing. But yeah, he's Archie Luxury. Archibald Chesterfield III is a very interesting character. Again, a Bible of knowledge when it comes to wristwatch collecting. If you're looking to get in, to become involved with the hobby, maybe you want to pick up a one and done, just one wristwatch. He is an excellent resource for steering you in the correct direction. Jake says the winds funneled down the St. Lawrence River to the Gulf of St. Lawrence. And then Mike says, IrixGuy, where did you background photo? Actually, it's a background video, and that behind me, you can see there in the distance, that is St. Martin. That's St. Martin's French end. What you see behind me is called Orient Bay. Where I'm sitting right now and where I had my tripod when I filmed this video backdrop, this is a place called Penel Island, Islet Penel, if you want to do it in French. And I probably butchered that. But basically what I did is I got in a kayak over on St. Martin on the French side, and I paddled over and just spent the day on Penel Island, where I'm virtually sitting right now. Very cool place. It closes at dark. You can't stay on Penel Island. There's no beds. There's 2 restaurants. It was called Yellow Beach, which was super good. And if anybody's watching this from Yellow Beach, Steve, the waiter there, was awesome. He recommended the lemon ice, which was a frozen drink. Phenomenal. There were tables out in the ocean. Check out my Penel, P-I-N-E. I'm going to type this in the comments. Penel Island. Check out my Penel Island videos, and you'll see all this. And then, again, Yellow Beach. Check those out. What was so cool about it, I mean, it's a short kayak paddle from St. Martin, the French side of St. Martin, or there's a little boat that'll take you over there if you're not, if you're not confident on water or whatever, which is fine, because you can see there's a significant distance between St. Martin and Penel Island, where I'm virtually sitting right now. So, if you're not that confident on the water, if you don't want to, invest the time and energy to paddle over and paddle back, because more than likely, if you drink, you're probably going to go over and drink, and then you may not want to paddle back if you've been drinking. So, but yeah, really good food, phenomenal appetizers, phenomenal entrees. It was pricey, I'll admit, the food. And again, I expect to pay. Here's the thing. When it comes to food, I look at food as, look at it from several different perspectives. I mean, food that's cheap and doesn't satisfy is a waste of money. Food that is expensive and doesn't satisfy is unacceptable. Food that is super expensive and doesn't satisfy is, that's a reason for me to complain and say, look, I'm, so-and-so and so-and-so, and this is why I didn't like this. I'm not just going to say, that was horrible. I'm not just going to give a generic answer and expect to get a refund. But, I'll go at it and say, this was unacceptable, this, and that. May I speak with your chef, please? I want to tell the chef exactly what my reason is for not being satisfied with the meal. And not to overgeneralize, but, I'll go ahead and overgeneralize. Any acceptable establishment, if the customer provides a very thorough analysis of why they were disappointed and speaks with the chef, any respectable restaurant is going to offer a refund. And, for that reason, I always speak the truth. And there's been few situations where I've had to complain and get a refund. and I'm not saying that in relation to this. Jamie, welcome aboard, man. Hi from North Carolina. But it's the food and drinks on Panerai Island were phenomenal at Yellow Beach. It was super expensive, man. I think I was there, I think, for 9 nights, and I paddled over to Panerai Island for, I think, 2 days, because there was one day I went to Anguilla. The other day I went over to St. Bart's. Talk about expensive. St. Bart's is super expensive. But it, when you get good food, when you get outstanding service. Brad, welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard, Brad. When you get excellent food, excellent cuisine, excellent customer service, and, you were prepared to spend. Brad, you missed the last. You're right, you did. Yeah, you got to get on the ball, man. You got to get on the ball. But when you get the service that you expect, or it exceeds your expectations, when you get the quality of cuisine that you expect, or it exceeds your expectations, that's a good meal, man. If it's a $25 meal, then it's excellent, or if it's a $150 or $200 meal and it's excellent, if you're prepared to spend that for that event. And again, I don't eat like this all the time, but when I'm in key destinations, I've done my due diligence up front. I know what I'm getting into, and I'm a planner, so I've planned my week at that travel destination accordingly. So if I'm eating, leading up to the let's call it the masterpiece, leading up to that, if I'm eating, $20, $30 meals, so be it. If I'm taking, some non-perishable food items to reduce my cost and then lead up to the big meal. St. Bart's. There was a place that I ate on St. Bart's. It's called Eden Rock. It's, St. Bart's is where you go, and you go into Gustavia, you got the yachts, you got the, you got all the ultra, like mega, multi-millionaire and billionaire status people. So, there I am with my YouTube channel, and, I'm pulling in, I got my reservations, and, I'm pulling in my Mini Cooper convertible on St. Bart's and going down to eat. Nothing wrong with that. So be it. I'm just in there with all the mega millionaires and mega billionaires. And it was an expensive meal. It was super good. But I will tell you, everything that I ate, it was worth it. I had no complaints. I'm not a guy that's going to walk in there and be like, yeah, I just dropped $200 US or so on a dinner. I expected to spend that. So, there was no surprise with the enhanced price tag, and I'd planned accordingly. I ate cheap leading up to that. I'm not a multimillionaire yet, so I don't have that type of disposable income. But I was able to enjoy that, and I was able to document the experience, and it was a really cool experience, But had it gone south, had the food not met my expectations, yeah, I would have told them all about it. And that's just how you should do it. And let's see. Mike says, doesn't look like I'll be going to the Caribbean this winter. I know, it's a shame, man. I'm ready to get back. Actually, right now, I want to go back to Jost Van Dyke and St. John. And it's, dude, you couldn't pay me. If someone told me, hey, man, I will pay IrixGuy's Adventure Channel $1 million US plus fly you down to St. John and Jost Van Dyke, I wouldn't accept it. I don't want to intentionally expose myself and potentially others to the virus. And it's a shame. It really is a shame. But this pandemic will pass. Jake says, I've been there once on the Harmony of the Seas cruise ship. Very cool, man. Brad says, hey, yes, I'm an adventurer just like IrixGuy here. Brad says, I've missed the last few shows. Jake says, I'm the same way. Well, welcome back, Brad. Brad says, I had the craziest thing happen the other day with my Mavic 2 controller. I want to hear about this. Jake says, welcome, Jamie, from Ontario, Canada. Jamie says, I'm late to the conversation. What cruise line did you use? Jamie says, thanks, Jake. Brad says, yesterday, I went to charge my Mavic 2 controller, and after noticing it wasn't charging for a few minutes, I went to replug the charger in. I then noticed it started to smoke. Whoa! Whoa! Brad says, I replugged it, and it started smoking bad again out of the charging port. Brad says, now my controller won't charge. Jake. Wow, I was at my trailer. I almost lost one of my drones when at St. Lawrence River. Breeze almost made it crash into the side of Mr. Holmes' truck, but it ended up in the William Darrell. Brad says, and debating what to do next as far as getting a new controller, getting the smart controller, or getting the Mavic Air 2 and cutting my losses. Cutting your losses is a cop-out. Don't do that. Fight, fight, fight. Fight and win. Mike says, Brad, sounds like something shorted out. Do not have it unattended or plugged in. Jake says, George Home, the owner of the ferry, was working on it, doing some painting. Retrieved the drone for me, and it's nice, man. Very cool. Speaking of shorting out, so I swam. I had all my gear in a dry bag. And this was Sandy Island in the British Virgin Islands. So I had in this bag, and this freaks me out to this day to say it. In this dry bag, I had Mavic 2 Pro with multiple batteries and the smart controller. I had Sony A7R. It was R3 or R4 at the time. It was one of the expensive camera. I had the Sony G Master 16 to 35. I also had the Sony G Master 24 to 70. And then I had battery banks and all kinds of miscellaneous equipment. Long story short, my dry bag was one of those dry bags that had optional shoulder straps. Well, they weren't optional because they were attached to the dry bag, but you could optionally put it on your shoulders. I swam to shore at Sandy Island. You couldn't, Sandy Cay rather, at Sandy Cay, you couldn't just pull your boat up on the beach. You had to, tie to a mooring buoy off the shore and then swim to shore. So I did it. I was confident. My dry bag was fine. I'd used it for my Phantom 4 previously. No problem. Swam to shore, got out on the beach, opened my dry bag, got all my stuff out because I was going to film and, fly my drone. Water. Not just water, but salt water was inside of that dry bag. That dry bag had my USB battery bank, some miscellaneous USB-C cables, and some other stuff in it. Fortunately, out of extreme paranoia, my Sony G Master, the 2 lenses that I had, the Sony Alpha camera that I had, and also, Mike, have a good night, sir. Good to have you aboard. And also, the Mavic 2 Pro and accessories, I had double dry bagged them. So even though there was salt water in the primary dry bag, none of that stuff was touched. And man, dude, that would have been nasty. Never trust a single dry bag too much. And, that was a lesson learned. I did lose some things, and Brad, you talking about your smoking controller. That's what prompted this rant. And, your smoking controller, when you get salt water, and this is really freaky. But so I got salt water on my battery bank, $20, $30 US battery bank, still a significant amount of money, but in contrast to the other items that were in my dry bag also wasn't that much. That thing stopped working. I put it out on the back of the boat. We went from Sandy Cay to Sandy Spit to Jost Van Dyke White Bay. I had that thing out in the sun all day. My mentality is that, this thing is going to dry out. This battery bank's going to work fine. I wasn't too concerned. I mean, it was a $20 or $30 U.S. battery bank, but that's still money. I mean, I don't throw money away. So that night, get back at the house that I rented on the east end of St. John, put all my gear out. Everything's fine, fortunately, except for that battery bank. I'm letting it dry out. Okay, it seemed like it had dried out. Next day, I put my battery bank down in my, my backpack or whatever to carry to the beach. I reach in to my backpack during that day at the beach, and I pull my battery bank out to charge my phone. And granted, this was out in the sun. Everything's kind of hot. That thing was exceptionally hot. What had happened is that the salt water had reacted with the batteries or whatever in the battery bank, and that thing was about to explode and or catch fire. So I disposed of it in a responsible way. But salt water is no joke, man. If you get salt water in electronics, that stuff can become very, very dangerous as far as a fire hazard is concerned. So the reason I'm saying this is that what you were saying about the controller, that stuff scares me, man. It scares me a lot. So, dude, just feel lucky about that, because that is super scary, dude. Brad said it's a 2-year-old controller. 2 years, man. That's in the technologically speaking, that's not a lot. Brad says I tagged you in an initial tweet I sent on Twitter last. Dude, I gotta monitor my Twitter more. Twitter, I use Pinterest, I use Facebook, but man, I tell you, man, YouTube is just kind of it's my honey hole, dude. I mean, it's just like, it's weird. Jake says Royal Caribbean Cruise Line Harmony of the Seas is owned by them. Brad says I can't decide if I should buy a new controller for $400, buy the smart controller for $749, or get a Mavic Air 2 for $998. Dude, I'd go with a Mavic Air 2, and I'd head on over to epicdroneshow.com, and I'd buy it through there to support this channel. I mean, I'm just saying, I wouldn't, given the performance of the Mavic Air 2, I think I would just, dude, you've had a failure. You've had a catastrophic controller failure. I think I would just go with the Mavic Air 2. Or, hey, you may want to wait, because first quarter of 2021, we may see a Mavic 3. And is that going to be significantly better than the Mavic Air 2? I mean, time will tell. I'm not a time traveler. I can't tell you what that's gonna include. Jake says Royal Caribbean Cruise Line is also the owner of the largest cruise ship in the world, Oasis of the Seas. Yeah, Oasis of the that's a huge one, man. I've seen that one in at port in Charlotte Amalie, which is in St. Thomas. That is a huge, huge cruise ship. And Jake says, but Harmony of the Seas is fairly large, second largest Royal Caribbean cruise ship line. Yeah, I mean, these cruise ships are enormous. And, something that's kind of sad because, as a product of the pandemic, these cruise ships, even after this pandemic passes, these cruise ships are going to be, they're going to have that stigma, unfortunately, because, even before we had the pandemic, people were getting sick aboard cruise ships, and now we've had the pandemic, and, I hate to say it, but I don't think people are going to feel safe, selling aboard a cruise ship anymore. And it's kind of sad. But cruises are fun, man. I mean, the coolest thing about a cruise is that you just you get out there and you've got to disconnect, and, you can't, what's the word for it? Whoa, that was deleted. That's not good. yeah, you just, the cruise ship, you just can't, hold on. Yeah, with a cruise ship, you just can't have as much time as you would want in port. And that's the biggest problem I've had with cruise ships. Now, the value add of a cruise ship is that, you can get to experience you can experience multiple destinations throughout the Caribbean for an affordable price. And then you can kind of see, well, this is cool, this is not cool, this is a place I'd like to go back to. I'd have no desire to go back here, that sort of thing. So, from that perspective, a cruise ship provides a tremendous amount of value. Like I said, Brad, if you can't wait, seriously, go to my website first. Go to epicdroneshow.com, click buy a drone, and shop there if you don't mind, because that helps support my channel. No enhanced price tag for the customer. And this isn't just for Brad, this is for anybody. But if you go to epicdroneshow.com, click buy a drone, if you buy it that way, it helps support my channel. Jake says, when I was using one of my drones, this battery exploded in midair. I found out that moisture got into the batteries, and with a bang that scared me out of my mind, it blew up. That is freaky, dude. Freaky, freaky, freaky. Yeah, unfortunately today, most any technology is expected to fail. Some of the failures more catastrophic than others, unfortunately. But it's just, man, it is crazy. Let's see what I got here. GoPro's allegedly going to release a GoPro Hero 9 in September or October of 2020, which is this year that we all want to forget. Let's do a live show tomorrow. Anybody wants to be face on video or on phone during a live show tomorrow? Let's do a live show tomorrow afternoon. Let's do a live show tomorrow afternoon. If you would like to be part of the live show tomorrow afternoon, shoot me a message. Facebook.com/IrixGuy, because I'd really like to have some face on video guests for a live show Sunday afternoon. So just shoot me a message if you're interested in that. Again, Sunday afternoon after church. Doesn't have to be in the morning, because I know that's when most church service is in the morning. So we'll do it Sunday afternoon. Jake says, Oasis of the Seas is the largest cruise ship I've seen. I've seen it more than once, even heard and its impressive horn. Impressive. Yeah, I got you, dude. I got you, Givna. I got you, Give. We got videos uploading. Crazy how many videos I got uploading here. Let's see. Hope this other one finishes, man. It cut out on me. I don't know what happened here. Let's see. Ah, there we go. It's at 48%. It's funny how this buffering on YouTube goes. It says it'll be moved. Huh. I had an upload and it was, I guess I inadvertently deleted a file that I didn't mean to. Because I'm uploading files right now while we're doing this live stream. Jake says, I never found anything left of it when the drone exploded. Brad says, I sold my Sony RX100 Mark VII for $460. Dude, somebody got a discount. You probably could have gotten more than that. Jake says, well, I'm off. See you tomorrow. Jake, always good to have you, man. If you'd like to join live face on video or by phone tomorrow, just let me know. Brad, same for you, man. We got to get you. Let's do, since I've got all the new equipment and I've got the Skype and all that, if you want to join in tomorrow afternoon, if you're available to be a guest face on video, dude, do it. You know, and this invitation is for everybody out there. Not just Brad and Jake. So if you'd like to be a guest on the live show, again, it's just for fun. If you want to be, feel free to shoot me a message, facebook.com/IrixGuy. But Brad says a bird in the hand or two in the bush. There you go. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's worth it, to get that cash and move on. And I mean, I'm with you, man. I mean, I'm the same way. If I've got, there's been times, whether it's a Craigslist or whatever, you won't be able to do it until 3 p.m. Let me do this, man. Let me set a reminder. Dude, hey, that's perfect. Golfing and drinking, dude. Yeah, so that'll be perfect. You want me to do it until 3 p.m.? Let's do, I'm going to try to do a live show tomorrow at, let's say 6 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, it's good golfing weather, man. That's for sure. That's a great game. Let's see, I'm going to set a reminder. I've got a lot of projects I've got to work on tomorrow. Yeah, so I'm going to try to shoot for 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to shoot for that. Yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern, that'd be good. If you're able to join, dude, just, you got my email, shoot me an email, and I'll shoot you the Skype. By the way, I'm using Skype now instead of Uber Conference, so just, dial in from Skype or, on your smartphone or your computer, and we'll do that. On that note, man, I think, let's see, I've got to get, I got to eat dinner, man. It's almost 10 o'clock. Almost 10 o'clock, New York. Yeah, we'll talk drones, man, whatever you want to chat about. That'd be cool. I know we're overdue for a live show, especially since we got all this tech, all the technical challenges resolved in this studio. So, yeah, man, looking forward to it, and I appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. We're an hour and 16 minutes into this live show, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And, with that being said, I appreciate everyone, everyone's viewership. This has been, sorry, I had something pop up. This has been a cool live show. I'm trying to find my window here. I got so many windows, man. That's the thing. I love my Mac, but I've got so many things open here. Let's see what I have. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Pop this sucker up. So I like to have everything planned here. So on that note, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Stay tuned for the next live show tomorrow. And if you want to be a live guest, I think Brad may be able to join in. That'd be cool. If you also want to join in, if you've got Skype on your phone or your computer, or if you just want to call in, you can call the studio. I got this yellow studio phone right here. You can call in and be on the live show with us as well. So thanks everyone for your viewership. Be safe. Watch out for this virus or whatever's going around, and just just have a good time, man. I mean, that's what it's all about. So on that note, y'all be safe. Oh, you know what I just did? There we go. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.